Hello, friends. Today I want to talk to you about Tikkun Olam. I want to acknowledge that this vlog might be offensive to some, particularly if you identify as with what is commonly called the right to life movement. The Jewish tradition has always upheld the value of what is called kavod habriot, the dignity of every human being, and full access to abortion is essential to uphold that dignity for all women and people who can become pregnant. It's important to remember that Roe V Wade was a landmark decision of the U.S. Supreme Court only in 1973. The court ruled that the Constitution of the United States conferred the right to choose to have an abortion. That decision struck down many federal and state abortion laws. It also generated a renewed, passionate debate in the U.S. about whether or to what extent abortion should be legal, who should decide the legality of abortion, and what the role of moral and religious views should have on the politics of this issue. There are Jews, especially in the Orthodox world, that vehemently rejected this Supreme Court decision originally in 1973. And I also feel comfortable in saying that in the progressive mainstream Jewish world, Roe v. Wade was hailed as an act that supported the Jewish value of kavod habriot. Again, the dignity of every human being and full access to abortion as an essential right to uphold the dignity of for all women and people who can become pregnant. So on Friday, June 24th, 2022, when the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, many progressive Jews, including myself, were shocked that 50 years of legal protection for abortion was being dismantled. We immediately witnessed individual states significantly curtailing or outright banning abortion rights. In fact, some states had already had what are called trigger laws in place before the ruling that outlawed abortion the day the ruling came down. Justice Clarence Thomas wrote that other landmark rulings should be reconsidered, including rights to contraception access, same-sex relationships, and same-sex marriage. Abortion providers in the banned states, and even those in some of the in-process to ban or restrict abortion states, have stopped providing abortion care or dramatically reduced the kind of care they offer. So many of us were so dispirited about this development that we didn't know what we could do to respond to this deeply disheartening new reality. Many people in the Jewish community were not aware that some Jewish organizations, like the National Conference of Jewish Women, had seen the writing on the wall and before the ruling had planned a Jewish fund for abortion access. This was the first time that the 130-year-old organization had ever fundraised in support of a coordinated, movement-wide effort domestically. Sheila Katz, the CEO of the National Conference of Jewish Women, the NCJW, wrote, "This is a moral emergency. People in this country can't access basic health care, including abortion, and we won't stand idly by as more and more stumbling blocks are laid in front of patients." End quote. Just last week, the NCJW announced that it had so far raised an unprecedented $1 million from the Jewish community to help patients access abortion care. They report that the donations made to the Jewish Fund for Abortion Access primarily came from thousands of small dollar donors. These funds directly help thousands of patients navigate an increasingly complex abortion care landscape after the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. These funds help patients who need immediate resources to cross state lines, stay at hotels, and pay for abortion care in partnership with the NAF, the National Abortion Federation. Again, CEO of the National Conference for Jewish Women, Sheila Katz, said, "We launched the Jewish Fund for Abortion Access to connect those most impacted by abortion bans with the emergency resources they need to receive reproductive health care. We are so proud to see thousands of our community members donating what they can to support access to essential health care in a communally Jewish way. The fund is a vehicle for people to turn their Jewish values of prioritizing health, pursuing justice, and showing up to take action into real-life, tangible impact." The NCJW reports that they wanted to direct the funds to an established organization that could quickly get funds to patients that need them the most. The National Abortion Federation runs the largest abortion hotline in the country, which helps patients from the beginning to the end of the abortion care process, ensures people seeking abortions get the care they deserve through its infrastructure to provide funding, guidance, and travel support for abortion care to patients anywhere in the country. Melissa Fowler, the Chief Program Officer of the National Abortion Federation, said, "We're incredibly grateful for the generous support from the NCJW with the Jewish Fund for Abortion Access. This helps make abortion care accessible to any patient who needs it, regardless of where they live or how much money they have." The NCJW relates that some donors organized creative fundraisers, raising thousands of dollars from their congregations and local communities for the cause. So listen to some of these efforts. A woman in New York named Mara Jill Herman, organized the Ruth Sent Us, a benefit for reproductive justice in honor of the late Jewish reproductive rights advocate, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and raised $3,000 for the fund. A Los Angeles friend-raiser, which was started during the pandemic by a group of friends working to support causes they believe in, organized an intergenerational effort that raised $36,000 for the fund, largely from small dollar gifts from college students that ranged from as little as $18 to as much as $5,000. For so many of us who were mired in despair following the Supreme Court decision, this profoundly Jewish response is inspirational and reminds us of the power of a thoughtful, intentional response to injustice. Stay safe and be well. Shalom uvracha, peace and blessings.